Hi, welcome to Jovie's home. I post new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Today we are going to be talking about possibly one of my absolute favorite features of the Dutch medical system, and that is the Kraamzorg. So if that sounds good to you, then why don't you come on in, kick off your shoes, and stay a while. I'm really glad you're here. If you are new to my channel, if this is your first time coming over, thank you. Hello, welcome. I do have an entire video about the Dutch, like having a baby in the Netherlands series. That is a very long video. I will link it here. So if you are totally new to the system and you don't know much, watch that video. Without much further ado, let's get into it.
Hey guys, it's Jovie. I realized that I completely forgot to mention something very important in this video, and that is about the Kraamzorg list. Luckily, my good friend Simona, who runs the blog Year in a Life, she has made an extremely helpful blog post about the Kraamzorg list in English. I would like to please ask you to go and check that out. I will link it in the description box below, and I will also leave the link here on the screen so you guys can see it. Please do go check that out. It is very important and very helpful. And now back to the video.
So the first thing that you might be asking is, what is a Kraamzorg? And other than my initial reaction of what I want to say, which is that she is an angel on earth that helps mothers that have just had a baby, like the real answer is that she is a post-birth kind of maternity nurse. This is a very uniquely Dutch concept, and well, we'll leave my personal opinions aside, but it's amazing. She is kind of like a specialized care provider that is there. She works in your home after you've had a baby. So right when you come home from the hospital, they kind of are waiting for you at your home to help you get settled in, to see if you're okay, to make sure that you're equipped to make it through that first night alone with your baby at home. And just to like kind of help ease the transition from either not having children to having a child, or easing the transition from having one child to two, or multiple or whatever. But basically they're just there to help bridge that gap between like being pregnant and now having a child. Who is entitled to Kraamzorg? It is basically every single woman who lives in the Netherlands and has Dutch insurance. You are entitled to Kraamzorg care. So it doesn't matter if you carry basic insurance or the fanciest insurance that your policy covers. Every single woman, and for every single child. So it's not just for your first child or no, it's as many kids as you have, you are entitled to the Kraamzorg every single time. The thing about the insurance is if you only have the basic insurance, you will have to pay a contribution towards the Kraamzorg from like your own risk or your own contribution. If you have more inclusive policies like pluses or stars or however it's ranked in your health insurance, most likely then you wouldn't have to contribute at all. So in order for you to know, just give your insurance a call and see what that is. Also, a lot of insurances, we'll do a separate video about medical insurance in the Netherlands, but if you have health insurance, you might know that you can only make changes to your policy like no later than January 31st of that year. However, something that is not that well known among the internationals is that once you're pregnant, like let's say you get pregnant in June, you are still able to call your insurance and tell them like, hey, I'm having a baby. I would like to up my policy. Like I don't want the basic anymore. I want the super duper plus one. And generally for pregnant related reasons, they will up your policy. So just know that if you're now watching this video and you're like, oh man, like I can't change my policy. If it's for pregnancy, you probably can. So check with your insurance if they want that. So where does this Kraamzorg take place? This care takes place in your own home. So she is a woman that is going to come, or I guess a man can be a Kraamzorg. I don't know. Have you had a man Kraamzorg, a male Kraamzorg? Let me know in the comments. I haven't. I don't know, but maybe there is. And if there is, well done. Good for you, man. But anyway, so the Kraamzorg, she is this like specialized care provider that will come to your house. Generally, you get 8 hours a day over 8 or 9 days, but that can be, we'll talk about that later, but generally it's like a full-time person, like she will work for a full day in your home. If you have these 8 days and you've had a C-section, or for some reason, you know, you're in the hospital for longer than just the actual birth part, like if you have a C-section, you'll spend, I don't know, 2 or 3 days at the hospital and then go home. Those 2 or 3 days post-birth will come out of your Kraam days, like your allowance. So if you come out of the hospital, you've been there for 3 days and you had 8 days of Kraamzorg, then you will have 5 in your home and 3 in the hospital. So that's kind of how that works. All together, it's like from the baby's birth until 9 days, 8 days, 9 days. If you've had a C-section or an extremely traumatic birth, or maybe you're having a lot of issues, maybe some are physical, maybe emotional, maybe mental, maybe whatever it is, like if your midwife, who is also following you at your home after the birth, if she thinks that you could benefit from a few extra days of having a Kraamzorg, like having that extra support, she can give a referral or a prescription, or, you know, whatever, and she can arrange for you to have like a few extra days of Kraamzorg at your home, which is amazing. You know, it's really like every woman is entitled to this, but we know that birth can be complicated, and so some women might need more, and then you can have it. So that's really, really great. In general, the entitlement is, well, I kind of want to stick away from what it is because it could vary, but in general, it's about 49 hours of care spread over 8 days. And for my first child, when we had him, and we were brand new parents, we utilized all of it. We needed it, we wanted it, and we got it. It was absolutely a lifesaver. When we had our second child, we did not feel the need to have that. We did want to have her come every day, but not as often, or not for as long. Like we didn't need her to sit at our home for the full day. So you can arrange anywhere between 3 hours a day to 8 hours a day. So you might say, oh, I want to have 5 hours a day, and then that's enough, you know, or whatever it is, but that is flexible. So you can determine what your needs are. And then again, it can be different from baby 1 to baby 2. So that's good to know. What does a Kraamzorg actually do? You've heard me like just going off about how wonderful she is, but what does she actually do? So if you have chosen to have a home birth in your own home, the Kraamzorg will be there to assist the midwife with your home birth. Otherwise, if you've had a hospital birth, she meets you at your home. You will call them and say, okay, we're on our way home. And then a Kraamzorg, I keep saying a woman, but a Kraamzorg will meet you at your home and be there with you. Her role is to teach you how to be a parent, and not like philosophy of parenting, but she teaches you how to give the baby a bath. She teaches you how to clip their fingernails. She teaches you how to take the temperature of a newborn. She teaches you bathing, you know, how do you hold them? How do you support them? What's the water like? What do you do? How do you do that? A lot of times they can support you with breastfeeding. A lot of them, or, you know, the ones that I've heard from or had experience with, they're not lactation consultants, but they have so much experience with that they can help you proper positioning and latching and different ways to hold the baby, or different like positions from nursing. They can teach you all of that. They also check the mother. They check the wounds of the mom to see how you're healing, how you're progressing. They, they're kind of also a link between, the mom and the baby, and then the GP, the family doctor, the house arts. So this person, like, really, she checks you every day and monitors your progress, makes sure that you're doing okay, or if there's reason to be concerned, she is able to be like also an advocate for you, or somebody that can speak on what's happened with the baby in a maybe less emotional way, because if you're a new parent, I mean, if you're a parent at all, you're going to be emotional about your baby's health, but especially a new parent. So she does that. They maintain the hygiene of your home, and by that I mean they clean, like, wherever the mom is having a shower every day, they clean that shower, they sterilize it, they clean the toilets to make sure that they're nice and clean. They do laundry. They do laundry for you. They'll wash the sheets and your stuff, like, they help with that. They wash it, they dry it, they fold it. They just make this like transition into your new life feel easier, you know? They also support with like light household duties. So, for example, if you need them to pick up something from the supermarket, they might do something like that for you if it's nearby or whatever. They might cook a dinner for you. Do you know what mine did? I will never forget this. I nursed my baby, and then she said, okay, you have 3 hours until the next feeding. The baby is going to be fine. I'm going to watch him. Don't worry. You go upstairs and you have a nap. And I just was like, what? Really? And she was like, yep, you go sleep because you're going to be up at night with him and you have me now, so you go sleep. And that is something that they do. They tell the moms to go and sleep. And then when I woke up, she had made a beautiful bowl of freshly cut fruit, like a fruit salad. That was the most incredible sight I had seen in my life up until that point. Like, just kindnesses like that. She was doing the same for my husband because he was equally, like, overwhelmed, but taking care of you like that is what the Kraamzorg does. Taking care of your baby, that is what the Kraamzorg does. So she will weigh the baby every day, like make sure that everything's fine, like, check the umbilical cord. She will, if you need help, like diapering, like I had never put a kid in a diaper before I had my own, like I didn't know what I was doing. She taught me, she taught my husband. Also, like in the Netherlands, it's quite customary, and I'm sure in other parts of the world too, that when you have a baby, you get visitors. So the Kraamzorg will, she like opens the door for your guests so that you don't have to be getting up and down all the time. She, welcomes them. She serves coffee to them, and the beschuit met muisjes, which is like a Dutch thing that you serve, which is like a little like dry piece of bread with butter and then like the appropriately colored pink or blue sprinkles. She does all of that, so that you can just stay on the sofa, rest, bond with your baby, and not worry about laundry and food and all that other stuff, She's there for you to ask questions, no matter how big or small they might be. What should the poop look like? How often should the baby pee? Like, is this a normal thing? Is this not normal? Should I be alarmed? Should I not? They're just there. They're there for you. They're there for you to have and to use, and not in like a negative way, but they're there for you. They're an amazing resource for you. Can you tell that I love I love the Kraamzorg? Yes. All right. The last thing that I want to address is when to register with a Kraamzorg, because this is something that I think people might put off for a bit and you don't know how important it is to do it right away. So to finish up this video, basically as soon as you are 12 weeks pregnant, entering your second semester, girl, girl, I'm thinking about school. No, as soon as you are in your second trimester, that is the time to register with a Kraamzorg bureau or an office. So most of the time you can do that online. A lot of midwives have like in their offices information about agencies that work in the neighborhood where you are. So you can get a referral from them. You can ask, you can get referrals in Facebook mom groups, whatever. But whatever you decide to do, register with one only, okay? Register with one, and basically you're not really going to hear from them from then until you're about 30 weeks pregnant. And then somewhere between 32 and 36 weeks, you are going to have a representative from the agency coming to your home, and you're going to do kind of an intake. And during this intake, you are going to discuss everything from your needs and your wishes, like, I'd like somebody who has like a very high level of English maybe, or I don't want a smoker, or, we have a dog, so it's important that the person who comes here is not afraid of dogs, or somebody that might be willing to take my dog out for a 5-minute walk, like let them out of the house, whatever, like whatever your special needs are, special wishes are, you can let them know. And they will do their best to, match you with the appropriate person. So it is important that you do that at 12 weeks, because if you're going to do it like, a few weeks before you give birth, like there is a very high demand for Kraamzorg, and the chances that you're going to get somebody within a few weeks, like, because the planning is like very detailed and stuff, it can be challenging. So just know that the sooner the better. You can never register soon enough once you are in your second trimester. Yep. You guys, that's it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you work in the Kraamzorg industry, thank you for the work that you do, the selfless, helpful, kind work that you do, because it is really, really important. And I hope that this is something that just continues, not only in the Netherlands, but I hope that other countries can like take note of this unbelievable, incredible support and can replicate it in their own countries. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for coming over. Thank you for spending any time that you did with me today. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a great day, and see you in the next one. Bye.